Welcome, it's good to see you again. I hope you've been keeping well and that you're ready for today's stories. Let's get right to them. Story number 1. Opie writes, "Sorry for my English. I hope the whole thing is going to be somewhat understandable. I'm also very angry at the moment, so forgive any mistakes. My boyfriend, male, mid-30s, has a daughter, G, 10, with his ex-wife, T. The ex-wife is fighting a very aggressive form of brain cancer. Now, a bit of backstory. T and I never did get on well. I met my boyfriend while he was in the proceedings of their divorce, and I think she always thought we had an affair long before then. She hates me a lot, and so does G. I've been called a homewrecker, a slag, and other nice things ever since I first met them. Now, my boyfriend is usually very quick to shut down their BS, but he adores his daughter and still cares about ex-wife. They've been together 15 years and been friends since their childhood. Ever since the diagnosis, he's been the one driving ex-wife to medical appointments and such, and he's asked me the favor to look after his daughter while he's with T. He knows what a huge favor it is. He's thanked me profusely every time, and I know how much he needs my help. Everything went to crap a few hours ago when I was asked to bring G back to her mother's house. T started saying I must be glad she's dying because I can keep boyfriend to myself now. She said I must be happy because now I get to keep her daughter and pretend she's mine. She said a lot of ugly things, and boyfriend didn't do anything to correct her. I stayed really quiet because, to be frank, I was incredibly shocked. Still am, to be honest. When we got home, I lost it with him and told him I wouldn't keep his daughter any longer, not if he allowed T to talk to me in such a manner. He said I'd be a huge a-hole if I went through with this because T has just found out she's only got a few weeks left and not the months she previously thought. Is he right? Would I be the a-hole if I stopped babysitting his daughter? Edit. So thanks, I've read all your comments and thought about all the points you made. I will continue to look after the kid. To be honest, I think I never had any actual intentions of stopping. In my anger, I just wanted my boyfriend to listen to me for a moment. And I think I need to have a chat with my boyfriend. I haven't seen him yet since the fight, because he's had to go back at his ex's shortly after. We'll see. Maybe I'll do an update once things settle down. Thank you again. I appreciate your help. Edit. Thanks for taking the time to share your opinions, folks. I am very surprised and grateful and appreciate everyone's insight. I'm a bit more level-headed at the moment, so I'll take the time to expand on some points I've seen brought up in the comments. No, my boyfriend and I did not have an affair. I can't believe I have to say this. Their divorce was almost finalized when we met, and the reason they divorced was that they've been growing more and more distant, to the point where ex-wife had an extramarital affair, and boyfriend didn't even care. I trust him because he's shown me again and again the truthfulness of his words. His daughter was always going to be part of my life. I knew that since the very beginning. My boyfriend and his daughter have always been very, very close. We sat down a while ago after X's diagnosis and talked it out. There are no doubt his daughter was always coming to live with us after her mother's death. And one thing, I love my boyfriend, and so I care deeply about the people he loves too, which includes his daughter. I care for the kid a lot, and have tried and was always going to keep trying to build a relationship with her. It's the daughter who wants nothing, and I repeat, nothing to do with me. I am under no delusions about what our future will be like. The kid will always be my boyfriend's priority, rightfully so. And I know she's going to need her dad a lot after her mother passes. I also know my boyfriend is going to be grieving heavily and was ready to support him fully. My boyfriend was able to just stand there and watch as his wife spouted so much anger and sheer hatred at me that I was struck dumb. I've never seen anything like it, and he just stood there watching me in tears as this woman kept yelling and yelling. He didn't do a thing, not even guide me out of the room. It felt much like a betrayal, to be honest, and the fact that he was not even a bit understanding afterwards has made me reconsider pretty much everything. I'm sorry, but I cannot excuse completely ex-wife for her past behavior. Boyfriend says she's always been very headstrong and jealous, and he never found anything weird with her. Her behavior started changing around 6 months ago, and we all started noticing then. And here's a comment with a reply from Opie. You would not be the a-hole, but you also wouldn't be very kind either. Does she have no friends and family that could step up? What about his friends and family? Surely you are not the only choice for childcare. Hell, he can look into hiring a babysitter. Opie replies, my boyfriend's family lives pretty far from here, and although he does have friends who would be willing to watch his daughter, his reasoning was that for her this must be a pretty difficult time, and I am the only person other than boyfriend and his ex that she is most familiar with. I agree with him, though his daughter might not. And we have this comment from Opie providing some additional information. Now, I've been reading comments on and off this morning, and I must say, lots of the you are the a-holes have provided me with insight and different perspective, and some of them have proven to be invaluable in my assessing of the situation. However, I think I need to say this because I resent the implication of what you said. Quote, she is obviously not being cared for under the supervision of OP. Unquote. That is not true. I have been doing my absolute best to look after his kid, to make her feel loved and cared for. I've been called names, tolerated lots of nasty stuff, interrupted work meetings. Since this started, I asked to work from home for the foreseeable future, and I've bent over backwards to give this child as stable and comfortable a home as I could. And I don't care about what ex-wife said. I care about the way my boyfriend reacted to it. I need him to have my back now and in the future, particularly in the future. If that makes me selfish, so be it. And here's OP's update a month later. I don't know whether someone even remembers my original post, but I received lots of great advice in the comments and I figured I owe you guys an update. Lots has happened in the meanwhile, so I'll try to keep it short. First, I sat my boyfriend down for a chat as soon as I saw him again, which was the day following our discussion. He agreed that we needed to talk and told me he was sorry for calling me an a-hole, that he had been so much in shock that he hardly even remembered the whole fight in the first place. I told him I could understand that and told him I loved him and wanted to be there for him and support him throughout this ordeal. I also added, though, that I would need him to be able to stick up for me in the future, even against his daughter, who would be grieving and in a lot of pain. I told him to think about it and let me know, and also said that I would keep his daughter for as long as he needed me to, independently from his answer. He asked me to marry him on the spot. No ring or anything, but he was crying and it was very sweet. So now we're engaged and relatively happy. Second, T passed away a week later. I followed your suggestion and didn't see her again. G is living full-time with us now, and I have what I think are, if not good, hopeful news. 10 days after her mother's death, she broke down in hysterics because she wanted her mom. It was an incredibly sad moment. She kept yelling insults at me and crying and again yelling at me. I was in tears because seeing a child in that much pain is heart-wrenching. So I intervened before my fiancé could say anything, told G that I couldn't bear to see her so distressed, and that I would go stay with a friend until she felt a bit better, that I loved her and just wanted her to be less sad. She ran to me, hugged me, and begged me not to leave her. We cried together, and I think we might be on the road to healing. That is to say, thank you Reddit folks for your feedback. You're awesome. Edit. Wow, didn't expect this at all. Thanks for the support and the suggestions. Also, yeah, we're not getting married anytime soon. I took his proposal as a heartfelt gesture, and I'm sure he meant it that way too. Hopi, what a difficult time this has been for everyone, especially of course for G, but also for your boyfriend, and of course for T as well. I wouldn't take the things she said to you when she was yelling at you personally. Looking at it from T's point of view, she knew she was about to pass away, she knew she was never going to have a second chance with her ex-husband, your boyfriend, and she knew she wouldn't be there to raise her daughter, and she decided to take all of her anger out on you, when I'm sure a lot of the anger was actually at herself, for her marriage ending, for her affair, and knowing that she would never have the opportunity to have the life that she wanted. You did say she was very hostile towards you from the start, but it sounds like it got even worse when she got brain cancer, which of course can alter a person's personality. This is just a very sad story and a reminder that none of us know when our time is going to come. It can come earlier than we expect, than we hope it would ever be. All any of us can really do is to be grateful for every day that we have. And Opie, I suspect that your boyfriend's daughter quite possibly has always liked you, but her mother's feelings towards you would have made it difficult for her to really show you how she feels. Keep treating her with love and patience, and Opie, I think everything is going to be okay. And on we go to story number 2. Opie writes, I, 22 female, can't stand the thought of acting the maid for my new boyfriend, 24 male. What do I do? So I've been going out with this guy for just over a month now and would consider us boyfriend-girlfriend as we've both acknowledged the titles. We have both had long-term relationships prior to meeting each other, and both relationships we lived with our ex-significant others. The reason I mention this is because in my past relationship, I accidentally took on the role of cleaning and housework and automatically picking up after my ex-significant other. At the time, I did not realize how much I resented it because I was beyond in love with him. Now, as I've been seeing my new significant other for a bit and have spent quite some time at his apartment, I'm noticing the general lack of care he has for cleaning or tidying. The first time I went over to his place, he had done a small cleaning before I arrived. His sister-in-law told me that, as she and my significant other's brother stayed there for a month. So my first impression was that he had a pretty standard expectation for how his place looked. Skip to a few weeks later when his brother and sister-in-law moved out, and I helped him deep clean his apartment. Vacuuming, washing floors and counters, doing laundry, dusting, scrubbing down the washroom, etc. I expected that it would stay pretty clean and tidy, but after 3 days of not going over to his place, it was a disaster again. And by disaster, I mean dirty dishes piled up in the sinks and counters, pee stains all over the toilet, food and drinks left everywhere, dirty clothes on the bathroom floor, the living room floor and his bedroom floor, as well as the clean clothes I had folded for him and left in a basket, still sitting where I left it with dirty clothes thrown on top. He is a genuinely good guy, and I like him quite a bit, but I now have to fight the urge to clean up or pick up after him anytime I stay over, because I don't want to create the idea that I will be a maid or always clean up his mess by myself. I have no problem cleaning and helping out. I actually love doing that for people I care about. But where is the line between being a helpful/caring girlfriend and becoming his maid every time I want to be over at his place and not cringe at the mess? How would I bring this up to him? Do I bring it up? Is it unfair for me to think that this behavior and his actions are a little disrespectful, since I've shown that I will help as long as he puts a little effort and care in? What am I supposed to do? And here's Opie's update. He broke up with me. And surprisingly, not over the cleaning, because I never brought it up. He believed I wasn't ready for a serious relationship because I have male friends and am civil with my ex-significant other. Well, Reddit peeps, you were right. Dodging a bullet. Thanks for the advice and kind words. Well, OP, the sooner this relationship ended, the better, because it doesn't sound like the two of you are compatible. No one should ever have to pick up after an adult that is fully capable of doing it him or herself. Resentment will find its way in the relationship, and the relationship will also become one that's not of equals, because it becomes more like a parent-child relationship when somebody is messing and doing what they want, leaving it for their partner to clean up. Even if it's a situation where one person is stay at home and taking care of the home, it still doesn't excuse throwing your clothes on the floor or leaving dishes all over the house and not just taking it back to the kitchen. It is very much a matter of respect, both for the partner and for yourself. Well, we've come to the end of our stories again. Thank you for allowing me to read these stories to you. Thank you so much for listening. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.